Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 319 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be November 15th if you're starting at the new year. The latter ends. Prayer is a way to true humility. And here again, it rises slowly up and grows in strength and love and holiness. Let it but leave the ground where it begins to rise to God, and true humility will come at last, to grace the mind that thought it was alone and stood against the world. Humility brings peace because it does not claim that you must rule the universe, nor judge all things as you would have them be. All little gods it gladly lays aside, not in resentment, but in honesty and recognition that they do not serve. Illusions and humility have goals so far apart they cannot coexist, nor share a dwelling place where they can meet. Where one has come, the other disappears. The truly humble have no goal but God, because they need no idols, and defense no longer serves their purpose. Enemies are useless now, because humility does not oppose. It does not hide in shame, because it is content with what it is, knowing creation is the will of God. Its selflessness is self, and this it sees in every meeting, where it gladly joins with every child of God whose purity it recognizes that it shares with her. Now prayer is lifted from the world of things, of bodies, and of gods of every kind, and you can rest in holiness at last. Humility has come to teach you how to understand your glory as God's child and recognize the arrogance of sin. A dream has veiled the face of Christ from you. Now you can look upon her sinlessness. High has the ladder risen. You have come almost to heaven. There is little more to learn before the journey is complete. Now can you say to everyone who comes to join in prayer with you, I cannot go without you, for you are a part of me. And so she is in truth. Now can you pray only for what you truly share with her, for you have understood. She never left, and you, who seemed alone, are one with her. The latter ends with this, for learning is no longer needed. Now you stand before the gate of heaven, and your sister stands beside you there. The lawns are deep and still, for here the place appointed for the time when you should come has waited long for you. Here will time end forever. At this gate, eternity itself will join with you. Prayer has become what it was meant to be, for you have recognized the Christ in you. All right, today's passage describes the highest rung of the ladder of prayer before reaching heaven, before returning to eternity and oneness of all that is. And this rung deals very much with the concept of humility and is a really beautiful companion to today's lesson, which deals with the absence of arrogance, which is what humility is. Earlier in the Course, it said that the meek are those whose egos have been humbled. I like to think of that as ego training. We're training our egos to be humble, because the ego left to its own devices, it's not loving. It causes harm. It causes pain. And so we're in the practice of training our ego to relinquish the resources that it has tried to commandeer for itself and itself alone. And we were told earlier in the Course that the narrator, who says that they are the soul that was Jesus, has no ego, and that is why we can trust them to guide us. And the Course has spoken of there being other teachers also, teachers of teachers, who have reached this state. They are there at the lawns that are deep and still at the gates of heaven. They just wait for the rest of creation to join them. They are in that state of true humility. Part of being at this rung of the ladder of prayer is being completely convinced of the worthlessness of illusions, of not desiring them at all, only desiring love, only desiring the coming home and the healing of the one child of God and the waking, that there be no more suffering. From where they stand, from that perspective, there is absolutely nothing to be gained in the illusion, and all that is left is to call and invite those who are still entranced by the illusion, who still want the idols of tiny gods, to wake and come home to being God, to being all that is. Today's passage reminds us of what a wonderful thing humility is, how it brings us peace because it relieves us of this need to control things, this need to rule the universe and judge things as we would have them be. It relinquishes those things to love, to the whole. No tiny shard of God can take on that role for themselves. And so it is a relief, and there is no aloneness. There is the beautiful communion of love with all. Those who have reached this level, their beingness, that humility, is so antithetical to everything that illusions are that their very presence melts the illusion. And is that not what the miracle is? It is the melting of the nightmare into paradise, into the real world, into form still existing, yes, but taking on a form so lovely and so beneficent to all that it approaches the values of love, the values of heaven, before the realization that form is not needed because there are no needs. So among the things that they have freely and joyfully and fully, with complete clarification, realized that they don't want, that serve no good, nothing that they desire, among these things are defense. They don't need it. They don't want it. They see it serves no purpose. They don't need idols. Don't need, don't want, doesn't serve a purpose. Enemies are useless now. Humility does not oppose. It does not hide in shame and is content with what is, knowing that creation is the will of God. And in that selflessness of humility is the self regained, the identity of the one, seeing through the eyes of Christ, not through a tiny individual shard. And thus every meeting is a joyful joining, a natural return of the oneness, and a recognition of the purity of all. The passage says, humility has come to teach you how to understand your glory as God's child, God's one child, the only one there is, and recognize the arrogance of sin. And arrogance again will be spoken of in today's lesson. At this level of the ladder of prayer, we have the certainty, the perspective towards all our other selves, all the rest of creation, still enmeshed in illusions. I cannot go without you, for you are a part of me. And so the only prayer left is prayer for what is truly shared, the shared identity. After reviewing what is the last judgment, in the show notes, we go on to lesson 319. I came for the salvation of the world. Here is a thought from which all arrogance has been removed and only truth remains. For arrogance opposes truth, but when there is no arrogance, the truth will come immediately and fill up the space the ego left unoccupied by lies. Only the ego can be limited, and therefore it must seek for aims which are curtailed and limiting. The ego thinks that what one gains, totality must lose. And yet it is the will of God, I learn, that what one gains is given to all. Mother, your will is total, and the goal which stems from it shares its totality. What aim but the salvation of the world could you have given me? And what but this could be the will myself has shared with you? That is our lesson for the day. Happy practicing.